Hi, I'm Sherry Heath. I don't know if you're like me, but if you are, you have no idea what to serve your guests next week for Thanksgiving. Well, lucky for you, I have the solution to this challenge. Today I'm going to teach you how to make one of my favorite drinks that's sure to be a crowd pleaser, sangria. Sangria is the perfect drink to make for banquets or parties because it can easily be made into large batches. I am going to teach you how to make one pitcher, but this recipe can easily be doubled, tripled, or made into as large of a batch as needed. Although traditional sangria is always delicious and can easily be made from using simple ingredients, instead today we'll be making one of my favorite spins on this classic recipe, white peach sangria. This drink is sure to be a crowd pleaser. Since there's more than one way that people learn information, this presentation will be taught in two different ways. If you're an audio learner, which educationplanner.org 2020 describes as a person who learns by hearing and listening, then this presentation will be available on Audacity. If you are more of a visual learner, which educationplanner.org says is a person who learns through reading and seeing, then you'll enjoy this presentation. Before we get started, let's learn a little bit about the history of sangria. According to where sangria comes from and why it's a symbol of Spain, Aloy 2019, over 2,000 years ago, the Romans were traveling through the Iberian Peninsula. As they were traveling, they planted seeds to grow vineyards. Since the water was not safe to drink, they fortified it into alcohol to kill off all the bacteria. They would then add water and herbs to the wine to improve upon its terrible taste. Hence how sangria was first made. Today's sangria doesn't taste terrible, and your guests are sure to enjoy it. The recipe that we're going to use comes from allrecipes.com and was submitted by Food Inc. 5. This recipe takes about 10 minutes to make, and it will need to sit for at least 2 hours in the refrigerator. However, I recommend much longer. Before we get started, you'll need to gather your ingredients and what you need to make this drink. We're going to need the following items: a large pitcher, we're also going to need a spoon for stirring, we're going to need a dry white wine. Today I'm going to use this one by Kimboa, but you can use any one that you have available. Next, we're going to need 3/4 of a cup of peach flavored vodka. I'm going to use Deep Eddy, but once again, you can use whatever you have available. Next, we'll need 6 tablespoons of lemonade concentrate that has been thawed. You can find this at any grocery store. Next, we're going to need 1/4 a cup of white sugar. Then we're going to need 1 pound of white peaches. You can use fresh peaches, you can use frozen peaches. I prefer to use frozen peaches and let them thaw till they're almost completely thawed, but still a little tiny bit frozen. Next, we're going to need 3/4 of a cup of red grapes, and we're going to cut these grapes into halves. And then lastly, we're going to need 3/4 a cup of green grapes, also cut into halves. Now that we've gathered our ingredients, we're going to start making this drink. We're going to start by taking our pitcher and we're going to add our wine to it. Go ahead and just pour it in. Or next we're going to add our flavored vodka, which can also just be poured in. We're going to add our concentrate and our sugar. At this point, we're going to mix it up until it's completely dissolved This should take about 30 seconds to 1 minute because you want it to be completely dissolved. Okay. Once it is dissolved, we're going to go ahead and add our fruit. Some of the fruit may sink to the bottom. That's okay, no worries. Let's go ahead and add all your fruit. Once you've added your fruit, we're going to put it into the refrigerator where it will sit for at least 2 hours, but I like to have it sit overnight. The article, The Secret to Sangria, Giving It Time to Rest, Christensen, 2014, says most sangria recipes call for letting the wine to rest overnight, or at least for a few hours in the refrigerator. This lets the fruit infuse the wine, letting the juices in the mix and sweeten the drink. I strongly agree with this statement, and I like to let mine sit for a minimum of 8 hours. So now we're going to put it in the refrigerator, and I'll see you again in 8 hours. Hi, welcome back. Now that your sangria has had time to set, we're going to finish making it. So what I've done is I've taken this fancy glass that you can see here, and I've filled it about halfway full with ice. Next, we're going to fill it till it's about 3/4 of the way with sangria. Okay. Now, what makes the sangria so good is adding the fruit. So we're gonna put some of our fruit in here next until the glass is full. Perfect. Now we've made a delicious and easy drink. I hope you've enjoyed learning how to make sangria. Sangria is a delicious drink that you and your guests are sure to enjoy. It started in Spain using only a few simple ingredients, but has progressed today. The recipe that we used had only a few simple ingredients: wine, vodka, lemonade concentrate, sugar, and fruit. However, sangria can be made using almost anything else. The key to good sangria is letting it sit overnight in the fridge, so the sangria can absorb the sweetness from the fruit. No matter how you make your sangria, your guests are sure to love it. So feel free to make any spin on this classic recipe. Listed above are the references that we used for this presentation. I hope you've enjoyed it. Bye!